Alrighty, so yeah, now that the cat is more or less wrangled, you'll all see exactly kind of what's happening in just a second, probably. Well, hello. Please don't mind the AC. I think it's not too bad. But you see that little troublemaker back there? Yeah, he's been in something of a mood today. I'm probably gonna put this on because it's a little bit absurdly hot. So I'm actually gonna, yeah, don't mind me. But check out this beautiful styling shirt. Tell me how beautiful it is. It is actually one of my favorite things. Oh yeah, it was gotten for me by my sister-in-law. And she was excellent. I think it was Jackie, right?
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to Jackie. Absolute boss getting me this. And just, yeah, it's like one of my favorite shirts at this point. I used to hate wearing t-shirts just as a whole, but this thing alone has sort of changed my mind completely. I hope I have this working properly. I think I've got a chat working, but I'm not sure. Did I internet properly? I think I did. What? Yeah, I think I interneted properly. Yeah. So, assuming I interneted properly, yes, drop something in the chat, but otherwise there we go. Hair is wrangled, loot is wrangled, cat is mostly wrangled. You can see he's already insane. He's just staring at us, and you see that little enclosure right here? Yeah, he's been rolling that around the entire apartment. Yeah. The insanity of this bloody, life. It's weird.
Cat is not wrangled, he wrangles us.
Yeah, you got the idea. Welcome back, Peanut Gallery.
Good to be here.
Yeah, everybody's here just in time for everybody's favorite part of the stream, the tuning stream. You know, you could say that should be something that happens before a stream, but frankly, I feel like it's become something of a tradition at this point that we tune together. We just, it's nice meeting each other in some beautiful consonant harmony. So I'm just gonna roll with that. We're just gonna say tuning stream is a great thing. And while I do that, we're just gonna enjoy some tea, hang out. How's it going, everybody? And you.
Hi.
Cool. Alright. So those feel mostly in tune, those top four. Nope. So after we do this, I know this is the fun part, it's my favorite part. After my favorite part, we'll start getting into the whole program thing, because today we are brainstorming a program, because I had pretty much all of a program ready to go for a recital. What are these, too high now?
And a wrench happened.
Yeah, then a wrench happened called the guy who was actually leading the damn thing. So now I have to come up with a slightly new program. So you know how you do that? You totally salvage about 70% of the other program, and then just slap it all together. Oh, the loot does not sound like it's in a good mood today, but that's fine, we'll make it work. So welcome, one and all, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I think those... Good. The top four at least sounded good. Hang on. Tea break. Excellent. This is the only way to drink tea, by the way. Oh boy. So, yeah, one of the things I need to do, the next Patreon bit that sort of check that comes around, I'm going to be getting myself some new strings. Ah, hola, como estes? Yeah, we're sounding much better now. Oh, no, we're not. I take it back. as I said, the next Patreon check that comes around, and by the way, shout out to all the lovely patrons out there. If any of you are here, you guys are honestly the real MVPs. You have no idea how much you've actually helped me in the last year. I can't even express it. But one of the things that is going to happen is I'm going to get some new strings, because one of the surefire ways you can tell a string is starting to go, if it's not already bad, is you kind of need to tune it slightly sharp to actually agree with the fret. So check this out. Like the metal wound, they always go first. So if you have one that's not metal wound like this, we'll work with the fifth course. So you see how they're all doubled, right? So one of them is metal wound, that's the orange one, and the light one is not. So if we're doing the Nile gut one, which is not wound, so it's got a clear tone, but so now when you play them open, they're together. Now they're not. You hear that little ring? Keeping them in tune as you as they start to unwind, it's actually impossible. So yeah, the string is starting to unwind in places, and the thickness is starting to get inconsistent. So you're gonna have to replace it. Oh dear. And to answer the unasked question, the reason I get so anal about tuning it properly at the beginning is because it's going to drift. Like, it absolutely is. So I'm trying to get it to the best spot right now, so it'll last the longest, in the best shape, as long as possible. So welcome one and all to the stream. Thank you for joining me this evening. We are, as I was saying, brainstorming. And you know, since I'm just doing the exciting thing of tuning, I'm actually going to switch the camera perspective so you can see sort of what we're starting with, just what we're messing with. So we're just working on this as well, essentially brainstorming a program for Lewis, Delaware. No, it's Lewis. Don't listen to him. Oh my god, it does. You have no idea. See, the funny thing is, in early music, like, perfect pitch is a thing, right? Perfect pitch is kind of wrong, though, because it means that people pay attention to, like, equal temperament, which is technically all equally wrong. So it's like thirds should actually sound in tune, but in equal temperament they don't. Like when you listen to a fourth or a fifth, like those sound like there's no ringing between them, which means there's no dissonance. But if you have a perfect, like a proper third, like a perfect major third or a perfect minor third, similarly there is no ringing. But there always is in modern music, because it's equal temperament. And for complicated physics reasons, we're not going to get into Fourier transforms today. That's equal temperament is equally out of tune. It is actually physics reasons. But in early music, there are things called temperaments, like quarter comma mean tone, fifth comma mean tone, where you basically have thirds and fifths at different spacings than normal, so it's all over the place in the first place. But lutes, oh my god. This is why, like, I sometimes tell people, like, I had perfect pitch and then I broke it over my knee and, you know, pretty much baned it. But, yeah. So, welcome. Nice to see you, Nick.
I just got that reference.
Welcome to the peanut gallery that is also Captain America. It's like, I understood that reference.
You know what?
So, yeah, as I was saying, so welcome everybody to the stream. We're just going to work on this, brainstorming this a bit. So, what I was originally going to do for this recital, which is upcoming in April, by the way, and anybody who's in Delaware, let me know. I'll make sure that you get a ticket if you're down there. I was going to do this whole deep dive into, like, Italian music. Some of you who are here for earlier streams, and it's going to be great. But now I want to do something kind of cool, because it's like, okay, must be Shakespearean. So let's talk about Shakespeare, music, Italy, and the concept of the other, because Shakespeare used Italy as, like, the poetic other pretty much constantly, right? So I figure that would be really cool. Like, let's pull in some of the plays where he talks about otherness and look at the music in them, for example. I think that'd be really cool. Like, looking at a lot of it's going to be Dowland or Dowlandia or related music. Like, what was it? Ophelia sings... No, she's in the wrong play. There was somebody in Othello who sings "O Willow, Sweet Willow," and I think there's a Dowland version of it. But well, she sings... Yeah, she knows Willow.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. So what I'm thinking is, like, we could go back and just start looking at our, like, some of our Italian stuff. I'm not sure how other it gets, though. Because I'm not sure how... Well, actually, what do we think? Italian music as contrast and as influence in English music? Like, if we're looking at... Or we could just, like, do a featuring of different cities and such, like, composers from, like, Verona or Venice or what have you. I don't know. So, alright, let's do some contrasting. I figure that's a great place to start, right? So, let's get into some actual Shakespearean times. So, we're looking at later 16th century, right? So, let's do that. So, Aquila would be a great place to start. I don't actually know where he was in court, or if he was. So...
Reigned in Aquila?
Yeah, we gotta start somewhere. Dota, oh yes. Hey, I mean, since Blizzard has been kind of a terrible company gaming-wise, I've been considering, like, just dragging your butt back into Dota. So over the course of the warm-up, we're already hearing it starting to drift. So we can blame Philadelphia weather today, can't we? So where is it? It was somewhere in here. It's the F again. That's right, when you think we're out of the tuning stream, we're not.
And we're back.
Yeah, with the lute, it's secretly always tuning stream, isn't it? So I just need to see, is this actually working? I can't even tell. Would you do me the greatest of favors and tell me whether or not the chat is actually working, because I can't tell. Because YouTube is kind of silly sometimes, and why is this still going?
Is chat working?
I'm not sure. That's okay. You tell me. But anywho.
Alright, so I just put, is chat working? And it showed up.
Yes. Oh, thank God it is. Oh. See, the G string is another one that's going out of tune. And yes, all the G string jokes. See, it's not... Oh, even better example than the C string. Check this out. Like, this one, that sounds good, but then when you play on a fret... No. So we've never left it. Oh, that is adorable. Somebody had to find it. Anyhow, welcome to the stream, everybody who is coming in. You missed the fake out. There, that's better. Yeah, because we were totally like, hey, we're done, we're ready, we're just playing music. Nah, we're still tuning. Okay, now I think we're good. So, now we're back to technically warming up. Oh, thank you. So, basically, we're going to do some contrasting. So I'm going to hop back and forth between some Dowlandia, as it were, and if anybody has... any suggestions, I will absolutely take it. But we need to contrast Italy with England in a lot of the stuff, because that's kind of what's going to be driving our program. As much as like I wish it could be just Italian, no. What's the name? Carabode, because he's the dude. Cool. We'll get to him later.
The dude.
Yeah. Oh, the dude abides, as they say. You still need to see that movie.
I do.
Yeah, The Big Lebowski. No, that's a movie.
Still judging me.
Nah, you judge me with the fact that I haven't seen any horror.
Well, that's true. Love you.
I know, it's true. I actually have seen almost no horror films in my life. Let's see. Alright, cool. So now we've got some nice English stuff to contrast with. So what we want to do is probably contrast the Ritterkar with the Fantasia, because they're both relatively in the same ballpark. So a Fantasia or a fantasy or a fancy basically was a proto-fugal type thing, where it would have some fugal elements, meaning like some voices that would imitate each other, basically tossed back and forth. A Ritterkar from like mid-late 16th century Italy, same kind of deal. So I'm going to play through this. I'm kind of warmed up, so it'll still have some bumps here and there, but we know this music. So listen for voices that echo each other, like you'll have, and so forth. Throughout this entire thing, listen for those little echoes. That's what we're listening for in this, and also in some fantasias, but I want to hear how they're different. It's a test, by the way, chat. I will be testing you. Flattery, please. Cover me in flattery. It's my favorite thing. Absolutely. But yeah, that is absolutely gorgeous. It reminds me so much of Francesco da Milano, just with the way that he sustains his voices. But I feel like, unlike Milano, he's a little bit nicer to the lutenist. There's not too much that he's got going on. He's just got a few like interesting little sections that sort of do make your hand jump, and you get lulled into this false sense of security. But that's really a more Milano type deal, I feel like, because he'll be like, here it's easy, we're just chilling, we're just doing some music, and then he's like, bam, no, okay, so. Yeah, Aquil is just nicer, just really pretty. I think of him kind of as like the, a delightful dessert to return home to, something easy. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, more flattery, poor favor. It's what I live on. Thank you. So let's get on to some more Italian. Actually, no, I said we're going to be contrasting, didn't I? So we're going to do that. So here's what we're doing for the contrasting. Haha, we've returned to Mr. Garibaud's repository. Now, we do have tons and tons of stuff in his repository that we can actually pull from. The reason I actually have a lot of these things, most of the things that I'd be pulling from, like I have them in physical form, but I like to keep them up here because I find that, music is pretty to look at. It's sort of its own technical artwork. So that's why I like having it up here, just so you guys have something nice to look at that's not also me. But if you want me to change like camera angles, let me know if you want to see more of my hands doing some nonsensical stuff. because I can absolutely provide that. So, I was talking earlier about pulling together another fugal type thing, so let's go with a fancy, because, this is like the best possible counterexample I can give between the Italian style and the Dowland style, I guess, because when you're at an English show, you have to do English, right? Yeah, so I'm going to play pretty much my favorite go-to fancy, and I'm totally going to do it for the recital because you sort of have a toolbox unless you're really trying to like go outside of your comfort zone when you're making a recital, so I figure having a nice, familiar, old friend like this one that you know you can play is always a good idea. Now, the real question, folks, is do I keep shifting my technique? Do I go from thumb under to thumb over to thumb under? Maybe. Dowland, I've always learned it that way because it's, he was supposed to have switched in his lifetime, so it's my excuse. But you guys let me know what you think. And so the music tails off beautifully into the air conditioner.
Yay!
Thank you.
Shut your face, that was beautiful.
Oh, I love it. More flattery. Welcome to the stream, one and all. Oh my god, I love all the fire. That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And Barn, welcome to the stream as well. We got not one but two Rubens. This is quite the stream. And I would also have welcomed you much earlier, Toju Listo Cool, but I can barely pronounce your name. But you are most welcome as well. Forgive me. I'm a jerk. But let's see. So, right now, let's see what we can actually... Oh, right. I forgot half of the point of the stream. We have to finish the brainstorm. So if the rest of you who are just joining us, welcome. I meant to tell you that we are brainstorming the stream, basically trying to make sure we've actually got a program. And we're salvaging an Italian program and basically turning it into Shakespeare as influenced by Italian music and the idea of the other essentially in Shakespeare's works, like because he used Italy as a stand-in for the other, didn't he? Pretty much. Oh my God, there are fireworks in the chat. You guys are insane. I love you all. I know. Let's see. Let's see. So, let me see. We could contrast as theme the other. Let's go with Ruchikar versus Fantasia. As a set, maybe that could be kind of cool. Like have like Ruchikar Fantasia with two different Ruchikar artists, maybe even a different fantasy instead of Dowland as well. I don't know many non-Dowland fantasies. But you guys tell me. I know you're mostly here for just all the pretty musics, aren't you? That's why I love you all.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hey, I'll take it, honestly. But I'm also eager to hear other thoughts as well. Let's see. So, if we're looking, do we want to go back to some more Aquila, or what other Italian do we want to do? We could do, like, Doni Lute Book, but we need the arch lute for that. And frankly, everybody, I love you all, but I can't be bothered to go get that right now. I'd have to go digging through the closet of doom. And I'm not doing that. Now, you know what we could do? We could actually, if we're looking strictly at 16th century, and I'm not grabbing the Barbetta book, what we could do is actually go do some Milano. I know, I was just talking about him. Let's see, where is it? There he is. See, isn't it so convenient? Oh my God, I need to, if Garwood here has a Patreon, I would absolutely donate just for the sheer amount that I have. No, I refuse. I refuse. No, I refuse. Yeah, no Freebird.
Oh, did Freebird.
Yeah. So let's see. I did Freebird that once. You get, remember, I think I said it was like 8 years in the future, I'll do it again. That was like a once in a lifetime deal, or once in every 5 years deal. Yeah. So, I mean, I think Milano, so as I was saying, Milano's one of those composers who does like one of those, he's like, here, let's lull you, the lutenist into a false sense of security if this is easy, and then let's just wreck his world, like in a few minutes after that, like for like 2 measures, and then after that go back to normal. So the thing about Italian counterpoint is that it's super, what's the word? I'm looking for the right word. Super specific? Angsty? I don't know. It's been since the last time I did it, yeah, whatever you say. So let's go for it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to say was sight reading. Ha!
Woo!
Yeah, that's right. Aquila couldn't trap me today. Or Milano. Oh, damn. Well, you know, he can sight read, but he can't speak or think. Poor lad. I know. But, yeah, that's sort of what we're looking at for Italian fantasias that are not Aquila. So they're extremely, I wouldn't say prissy, they're just really anal about the counterpoint. That's the word I'm looking for. Extremely anal about the counterpoint. Like, you need to be focused on, like, all those lines that are ringing and doing their thing. Like, just to actually know, why did I take that away? I need to have the music. Look at the damn music. So, like, look at this. Like, it's the whole, how you've got the whole, so it's nice, pretty easy opening, and then you've got this fugal part, and by fugal I do mean like an imitative voice structure with some parts underneath it that are basically, you know, they're pretty, but they're extremely pristine, and they're very carefully constructed. So you've got the primary melody, then you've got the counter melody, and they're constantly sort of bouncing back and forth. So you've got the whole. Love it. It's just the beauty of the counterpoint as it overlaps. It's just like that spot in particular is so classic imitation and so classic Milano. Just like listen to those two voices. Let me just pick that apart for you, just because a lot of people, I've learned, don't listen to music the way I do and listen for like the little back and forths, and it's not as easy to tease apart. Something for a lutenist to practice playing, mind you, but the whole how it sort of. If you're, you know, I'll show you with the mouse, because pointing with my finger like this is where it is in the music, that's not going to help. I wish it did. But, so, like, right here, so you see how it's got this beautiful low bit that's like, then it just jumps up. And then it, beneath that beautiful singing melody, you've got, right? So it's like, oh, I'm still not playing it perfectly, but my God, I just love it, and that is going in the concert. Oh, you absolutely could. You absolutely could learn the lute. So there are lots of cool ways to do it. The 2-second rant that I have about that is, if you have a guitar, you can actually learn the basics of how to play lute, actually. And the reason is you can tune a guitar that way real easy. The Rubens, who are in the chat, will remember very well from when we were young, like how I did that to their guitars all the time. Basically, all you do for that to get lute tuning is to get a capo, slap it on the 3rd fret, tune the third string. What is that? The G. You tune the G down to an F sharp, and you've got lute tuning. That's actually how you start. And you can learn to play the lute really easy from books, actually, if you really want to. Like, that's how I started. Because who's going to find a lute teacher, right? I mean, that said, I will, of course, tutor anybody. I have to plug, you know. I will tutor anybody virtually. I actually have some students that I teach virtually, and I have a whole virtual library of music that I can give you. But,
it's actually going to be a video you're coming out with.
Oh, yeah, I'm actually going to come out with a video about that. That's a really good idea. About like how to get into learning the lute. So as far as books, if you're interested, I highly recommend Diana Poulton's Lute Tutor. It's really cool. It's got great intro material, actually. It teaches you how to read all this nonsense pretty easily. It's not nearly as hard as it might look for some. In fact, what do you call it? Spanish lute tab is actually the same thing as guitar tab. So you're already 1/4 of the way there. And nobody learns German tab anyway because it's a hot mess. So don't even worry about it. But yeah, this is what we call French or English tab, which basically instead of numbers uses letters. So you could actually learn it that way. And the right hand technique for the guitar, like for classical guitar, is actually the same as it is for the lute, more or less. Like we have a slight difference. So I'm actually going to bring this farther down a little bit so you can see a little more what I'm doing. And yes, I will get back to playing music, I promise. But the only difference is, so with the guitar, you're basically doing this whole thumb over thing where when you pluck, your thumb's out here, and these basically just go here like a typewriter, kind of, like back, like very, like, sort of like that, kind of, and so forth. The only thing we do is we sort of anchor our pinky very lightly, so we know where our hand is because you got a lot of strings to cross. That's the only real difference. But yeah, that's how you can start. And there's a ton of free music, like everywhere. Check out your local Lute Society. Lute Society of America actually has a whole bunch of stuff online too. Not to mention guys like Gerbode. So yeah, it's totally cool and excellent to do. And when it comes to like playing the lute with people, oh my god, the best way to do it is just by jamming. Like seriously, like. In Renaissance Ensemble, like, I'm the rhythm section most of the time, or I'm the stand-up bass, depending on which instrument I'm playing. This instrument, I'm the rhythm section, so just to give you a quick peep at a real banger that I've got coming out, I'm actually doing an arrangement, kind of like my Witcher tune, but I'm going with Zelda this time with the Gerudo Valley, actually, because it would have been too easy just to go for, like, the Ocarina of Time or, like, Song of Storms or something like that. To start, I'm going with Gerudo Valley, which is going to be so cool. But so here's the sort of peek behind the scenes you're all going to get because you're all here today. Basically, you just strum just like normal. It's just like, so what was the chord progression again? It was like, oh yeah, that's it, yeah. So it's just, yeah, what was it? Strumming's the same, so a lot of guitar techniques are extremely transferable, is my rant, pretty much, yeah. So, pick yourself up a guitar. It's the fastest way to learn the lute if you don't already have a lute. But lutes, there are places where you can get them, and I'm going to put it in the video, where they're actually pretty cheap. In fact, some of my students have gotten them on Amazon, if you can believe that. So, yeah, like, there are some actually semi-decent lutes on Amazon. Check them out. They're actually not that expensive at all. Great place to start for a student, actually. So I should get off my rant and get back to actually playing some pretty music. So welcome to one and all who are joining us. We are in theory talking about a program that we're putting together for a place, but I am a victim of tangents. So let's see some ideas for Shakespearean stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just enthusiastic about getting people to play the lute because it's so cool, honestly. And I think more people should. So we've got some Dowland, I can't spell, Dowland, Milano, Aquila, and probably some other English dude, probably, but, probably Holborn, actually. That's a good idea. I don't know who just said Holborn, but you know what? You're absolutely right. Was it one of the voices in my head, perhaps? Don't worry about it. Alright, cool. So, get that out of here. So, let's see. Other Italian stuff. Do we want to pull in music that's, like, later in time? Do we want to pull in, like, early Baroque? Because, I am something of a Kapsberger, obsessed jerk. I was going to say something much worse. I'm trying to be more behaved because last stream I was extremely, what do you call it?
Loose?
Yes. I was a little too loose probably last time around, but, I'm trying to be good. I'm trying not to curse as much. I almost... What? Oh, it's because I installed Opera. Okay, that makes sense. So, let's see. Why not do a little bit of the old Caparola? We all love Caparola here, don't we? Don't we? Yeah.
All
okay.
little Caparola here.
You get it, yeah. Yeah, so Because we could look at this as like older, like a more look in the distant past, right? So if we were to do Caparola, it would be like, here's a Rigicar from 1520-ish, so we think. Totally added some things in there just because I felt like it. Thank you. Again with the flattery. I love flattery. What can I say? But, yeah, this... Whew, when you get rusty in Caparola, let me tell you, whoa, it does not come back easy. Comes back kicking and screaming the whole way. Yeah, I think that's because I never quite properly learned everything that I should have about thumb under technique, because I was too obsessed with everything Baroque. So this is good for me. This is good. We can all agree on that, right? Yeah, this is all good. But the thing I do want to do, what I was going to do, and here's sort of the genius of my previous ideas for the program. I was going to include this one in a whole lot of prints and like a what do you call it, presentation, because look at how beautiful this is. Like, this particular page, like for the 6th ricercar, that's what it means at the top, by the way, the ricercar sesto, I think. But basically, look at this wonderful art. I have no idea who drew it. The scribe, possibly. The owner, certainly not. He was too wealthy. But I love how it even has different colors for the different rhythms. Yes, actually, that's exactly what this is. This is a facsimile, or this is like an actual visual copy of the actual music that was handwritten and painted, or whatever, in 1520. This is the Caparola manuscript. It's one of the 4 earliest manuscripts that exist for the lute. The others are kind of like, well, actually, I can show you real easy. Like, they look kind of like this because they were actually published. And this, yes, this is actually a facsimile. It's a really nice printing that was done, I think, by Petrucci? I think? Maybe not. No, this was by somebody else. Yeah. No, this is totally Petrucci. This is Petrucci's print. So, yeah, basically, Petrucci was a really great printer at the time, but then there were also manuscripts. So the other one was like a published thing. This is like one of the earliest that was actually found from the time. It was found in the library somewhere. Some rich guy who was too rich to actually publish his own music, you know? So this is kind of an exception to a lot of rules, but it's gorgeous. I love it. And that's why I was going to have it in the presentation. But, you know, it's... I wish we sort of stuck with this in music, or we had a different color for every rhythm, because I feel like that helps, 7-year-olds when they're learning, like, to play violin or whatnot. Why not adults too, right? But yeah, this was likely the Caparola. I think Caparola was also the noble, and this was his music. But he was too refined to do something so pedestrian as publish his music. So you understand the pretense of like 16th century fops. Yeah.
Gross.
And incidentally, welcome to the stream. We're enjoying a fine cup of grandpa-style loose-leaf tea. This is truly the only way to drink tea, trust me. Don't knock it unless you've done it. And we're sort of brainstorming some Italian music for an Italian-English program that's more than just, look, it's Italian and English. But so far, that's where we are. Let's see. So maybe we'll throw in some Caparola for earlier. Cool. Don't mind the typing. I hope you don't mind. But yeah, this is one of my very, very favorite manuscripts. So, then the question... Now, per the rules of the stream, I need to jump back to some English music now. Let's see, which one? This one. Not that. That's Italian. Cool. So, fortunately or unfortunately, I'm just going to play something that actually sounds good rather than, do more sight reading, because it's always a roll of the dice, isn't it? I'm good at sight reading, but I don't want to torture you all for being here. In fact, I'm rather happy with you all being here, so thank you and welcome for joining me. I love to have the company. So, one of these times, a lovely chatter suggested Dream to me, which I think is an excellent choice. I'm not going to play it now because it's not quite in the state where I want you to hear it. Not quite yet. So, let's see. I want to move out of the Fantasia realm as much as I love a good Fantasia. We've played Lacrimae to death, and I might finish the stream with it, but I'm not going to do that just now, because I feel like I want to do a little bit more. A little bit more. That's, as long as I don't piss you off by making dinner hold off too long.
Food.
I'm holding the peanut gallery hostage. Let's see. So, it's going to be just me performing. It's going to be a solo, so where is it? Oh, I know what I'm looking for. Yeah, so we could always do the classics. I'm trying to find a nice balance of,
Come again.
Exactly. I mean, I would love to have you sing, just, I want it to be just me on stage, because I get really worried about, contagions and such. So I'm still super paranoid about the pandemic and all that. So which is why I have stubbornly not really done any in-person stuff. I'm gonna teach live for the first time tomorrow, and I'm gonna have an N95 strapped to my face, and you can be damn sure I'm gonna be really pushy if the student is not careful. I'm super nervous, but yeah, I'm not doing any ensemble performances, and I am not for the foreseeable future. I'm just doing a lot of stuff on here and recordings and things because we gotta be careful.
I just realized you can see my iron behind you.
Oh yes, behold the lovely iron behind. It's truly something to be envious of. No, please don't be envious. Let's see. So since it's just me, I could have my beloved performing sort of, in her heart with Come Again.
In my heart.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, quick side note, if any of you have seen, I highly recommend making yourselves one of these. My beloved made it for me, and it's amazing. When you're sweating yourself to death, this is how you save your lute from basically corroding under your own sweat.
And it also saves your arm from getting
nasty marks. Yeah. So let's see. All right, Dowlin, we're back to thumb over. Thank God. Let's see. Oh, and by the way, Giraffe Lord, this particular one is not period accurate, if you can't tell. It's a little bit computerized and entabulated by a dear friend of the channel, Serge Gerbaud, and that's probably pronounced wrong, but he's already a dear friend. What was it? Oh, yeah. I keep thinking I'm playing like the accompaniment, which is so much simpler. Right. That's better, right? I love that one.
It's tempting.
Yeah, you want to sing?
Nope.
No? Are you sure? People heckle the woman.
Nope.
We need to hear some beautiful singing.
Nope.
All right, well, let me see. Oh, that is an excellent question.
I'm phlegmy today.
So this is an excellent tangent to get onto, and I will actually change the camera angle just so you can see for a moment, because this is a cool thing. So, yeah, please don't mind the mess. That's actually the cat's doing. It seriously is. He's been knocking around his little enclosure. Like, he has this little playpen, and he literally was rolling it around like a hamster ball earlier. So, don't mind that. So, the question is, what's the difference between thumb under and thumb over? And I mentioned that and rant about it a lot because it's super important to me. So, I'm going to give you some ballpark dates because I'm bad at remembering dates, good at remembering facts. So circa 1600-ish. I want to say maybe like 1580s, between 1600. There was this sort of like collective shift of lutenists who actually, they had been playing what's called thumb under technique, which is more of a holdover from medieval lute techniques, which used a quill based off of like really old oud techniques. So with the oud, you'd basically have this like quill, right? A lot of them would. Not nowadays. Older technique. Medieval lute had this quill. You basically just sort of like do more melodic stuff, essentially, with some strumming, but it was not like the finger picking stuff that you see here. The Renaissance, they sort of, I guess they ran out of quills, but they basically used the thumb and the index finger kind of like a pick, but like with different sides of the pick. So it's like down, you strike with the thumb, up, you strike with the index, and you have these. I'm kind of bad at it, but Oh my god, my thumb under is so out of practice. So yeah, I hope my teachers aren't on stream because they do use computers, and they would probably be mortified. But basically, you would like do this kind of motion. It's more like a full arm type thing, like this. Where, in theory, it's a lot better for running melodies, which is where the caparola comes in. And so forth. All that nonsense. That's an older style. Like in the early Renaissance, well, actually, excuse me, in a lot of the Renaissance, a lot of the ornamentation styles were extremely long running melodies. Just like that. And also in the early Baroque, early 17th century Baroque period in Italy, that was like the more popular way to ornament. There were lots of commentaries at the time talking about how rapid Italian lutenists were too, but that was a big thing. So it's basically this, where your thumb is actually under your hand. And whereas in thumb, so basically you would actually have these fingers like this. So it's fine, you can play chords and stuff this way, and I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's like, it's sort of referring to where your thumb goes in relation to the rest of your hand. Then circa 1580, 1600-ish across Europe, there was this big shift, this new way of playing. Like it was a fad, where lute players would stop playing like this and they actually started playing like this into what looks more like modern guitar technique. So sometimes you'd see like in images, paintings. Oh my god, what am I saying? You would see like the angle of the lute would actually change depending on like the era, but it was also a little an artifact of like this technique. The cool sort of knock-on effect you see musically is that there's a lot more like chordal stuff in the late Renaissance, early Baroque, and especially through the Baroque. Like you get into Sylvius Leopold Weiss and it gets very chordal, so you get the whole. So the idea is your thumb is over the hand, whereas it's under the hand. Like that's sort of how they understand it. So when you're programming, like when I'm programming, I hate to actually have things in the program that are like that have me shifting between them because it just confuses my hand. Maybe this is just some problem with me that I need to overcome, but that's sort of where I sit. I just can't do it. But the cool thing is, like, there were actual commentaries during the day which actually said that even the great Dowland, even Dowland has been known to like shift to the newer style of playing. So, like, he's one of the few that we can confirm. You can kind of do like whatever you feel like if you're like, so if you really have a stick up your butt and like want to make sure that you're like absolutely historically accurate, even though that's kind of a fallacy. You can get away with it with Dowland doing either one because he shifted to one style from another in his own lifetime, and we have actual evidence to back that up. But yeah, for a lot of others, people get really hung up on it. I don't get hung up on it because the more music that I experience, having graduated from like that sort of student mentality, the more I just think music lives in the moment. Do what's most comfortable to you. Not everybody can do all these different techniques, and just, do what's best. Because I actually had a student, I'm not going to mention their name, who actually had a lot of like physical difficulty just with the way that one technique worked for their hand, and it felt really uncomfortable. So we switched to the other. They were doing great, no problems. So honestly, don't get hung up on like the little fine details. Like, just enjoy the music, make something pretty. I'm not long-winded, you're long-winded. So we were just doing some Dowland, and let me see, I can already see that my beloved is fading. I can't keep this going all night. I need to come to an end at some point. Let's see, we could pull in some really cute little things. Like, I've always enjoyed, I've always enjoyed the little silly musics. This stuff. right. So here's one of the things that is fascinating to me, like about what do you call it? These intabulations. So intabulations are basically, you're writing down a cleaner version of the original facsimile, but that's because facsimiles are sometimes hard to read or missing stuff. This one actually is different from the one I learned from, so that's why I was like, oh wait, what? What am I looking at? Because some things are different. So, yeah, half of a life of a lutenist outside of tuning is spent looking at the facsimile and saying, would I actually play it that way, or do I feel like playing it this way? Yeah. Oh yeah, very, very, very cool. There's a lot of weird stuff that goes into considering like early music nonsensical playing and all that. Oh wait, what? See, I was just shifting back into underhand, as it were. Oh, and by the way, I promise this is the last I'm dwelling on it, but for the whole thumb under, thumb over, you'll notice I'm doing a lot more like middle and index runs. That's something that actually became more of a technique once people did thumb over. And that was never done with thumb under because you just actually can't do it. So that became more the standard, and that's why guitarists play it as they do nowadays, because that's where it comes from, lute technique, in the first place. But rant over, I promise this time it's true. You know, indeed. Absolutely. And, yeah, this one's one of my old favorites. Now, I don't know if any of those Rubens are still lurking around the chat, but just so you know, this one is a throwback to the good old days of Dwayne Large. Strange old, wonderful old guy. My first lute teacher actually taught music at my school. He taught guitar there, and it turned out that he knew a little bit of lute as well. Taught me in the first place. Poor guy passed away in his 30s from cancer, but this goes out to him. First and amazing teacher that he was. And I remember him teaching me this one. This one was just such an adorable little nonsense. Played it in school all the time, irritated people with it, stole guitars to do all the nonsense. But Lady Hunsden's Puff. And no, as far as I know, Puff is not a genre, even though it should be. But it's getting to about that hour where my stomach is starting to growl. So, let's see. I wonder, did I ever play this one? I might have played this. No, I never did, so I'm not going to torture you with it. Ah, that'll do. That'll do, pig. Alright, let's go. Hey. Let's see. This is a completely different version. How weird. Right. Wow, this is so different. Oh my god. I love it. This is wacky. Ah! And you know, it's funny. I'm cracking up at something that none of you could possibly know, but I find absolutely riveting. Like, just the sheer differences between this and Polton's intabulation. It's insane. So I'm kind of trying to make things up on the fly to get back to kind of what I know so I can actually play decently for you, but at the same time it's so wacky and fascinating just how different it is. Like, what one person's eyes will put together versus another one's. I don't know. This is fantastic. I'm so excited. Sorry, carrying on back to the music. So bloody weird. Oh my god. Right, I'm gonna have to finish on something else other than that because that was just... Oh my god, and you couldn't even see the music. I am so bad at this. Here we go, there we go. Have I ever composed anything from on the lute myself? I want to say yes, but I actually spend most of my time just improvising. Like, it's just like what I do a lot of the time, and I make my wife so very sick of all of it. Like, I'll just start. Just improvising my way around the all the keys. I just have fun doing it, and it comes up with random stuff that sounds kind of nice, but I sometimes forget exactly what key I'm in. So I'm just like, wait, what was my bass note supposed to be? Well, let's make it work. Sometimes
it sounds so nice, and he never writes it down.
Yeah, not a damn thing. I probably should. Well, no. It's clearly your fault. Just record me constantly because just record me constantly, or I'm not gonna write it down. Yeah, I probably should. That's actually a really great idea. Thank you. I know, I'm bad at this, but yes, that's.
I like your excuses.
Yeah. So it's a good question. I probably should, but yeah. So it's become something of a tradition at this point. But I am going to end this on the Lacrame, the classic, just because it's pretty, and it is going to probably finish out the concert, I want to say, when I actually have the program all set and all together. And this one will absolutely be tempting the Peanut Gallery to sing. So, yeah.
I'm going to.
Oh, I'll keep trying. But, yeah, so I think we've got some good ideas. Like, we've definitely ironed out at least one or two sets for what the new program will be. I want to see if I can find some of the, like, actual songs that were used, pull those together, and actually slap those into a program as well in lute version. Perhaps even re-entabulate one, compose something, who knows, but all I've learned is I will compose for myself. Thank you, Tojilusaku. I will absolutely... See, I'm learning. I can say it. I will absolutely do that. In the meantime, I want to thank you all first for just, like, coming on out. It's been a blast having all this company here. Thanks for coming. But with all that, let me take a quick sip real fast because I'm thirsty. I've still got a little bit left in here. It's not just leaves, I promise you.
It's just leaves.
Dragonwell. Oh, so good. Alright, we're just going to do some tuning touch-ups. Cool. Alright, so let's do it up. I think you guys can all see everything properly this time. So, just gonna go through the classic, the one-hit wonder of 1601. I want to say it was 1601 anyway. Anyhow, Lacrame, let's go. Drank indeed. Thank you, Barn. Yeah, it was a hell of a hit for a damn good reason. My God, it's beautiful. And an amazing example for how, out of so much loop music, there's, like, not a lot written in terms of ornamentation, but in this stuff there is. And my God, is it glorious. I love it. Naturally, I have to add some here and there because I get bored doing the same stuff. I mean, honestly, I feel like early music is the best music for anybody who gets bored because you never have to play the same melody as it stands, ever. Or at least you can do that with any music. You can always be a little loose with it, but you're never going to get as many stink eyes, as it were, when you're playing, like if you start improvising in the middle of Beethoven, you're going to get a lot of stink eyes, probably, in spite of the fact that Beethoven probably did it himself. Just saying. Improv's an art that needs to come back to it. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. So, yeah. So, yes. I probably need to go because I actually haven't eaten in 9 hours. What the hell did I eat even?
What did you eat?
I might not have eaten since like 10 or 11, so it's been a while.
Lab.
I need to go eat. But, yes, so coming back because this week, instead of Wednesday, we're doing a stream Thursday evening, 8 p.m. PST, same place, and I'll be making it public probably tomorrow or tonight. Yeah, come on back if you want to hear some more pretty tunes. We're going to actually do some Corelli next time, the One-Barred Band. It's coming back to actually Corelli, because, I had to make sure that the violins, they start to listen, Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I mean, I'm glad you tolerate the rants, because I can't help myself. I just get enthusiastic and just start ranting about stuff.
You really can't.
What can I say? Love you too. So I'm glad you enjoyed it, and do come on back. And if you're curious, and if you just feel like hanging out as well, or even playing games with me, like I do a Twitch stream on Friday as well. Everything is linked in the comments to this video. And if you ever want to just figure out what's actually happening behind the scenes a little bit more, see the progress, say with Gerudo Valley, for example, check out the Patreon. All the best. Like, it's all there in the links. Do the thing. And, yeah. In the meantime, thank you, honestly, for coming out. I love the company. And there will always be some pretty music every week. So come on back. But, in the meantime, y'all, it's really been excellent. I'm going to go eat. Y'all have a great night.
Food.
Food!
Bye.
Peace out, all.